Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction, and today we're going to be installing tile start to finish in a commercial bathroom. Let's do it. The first step in this tile install is we have to make the floor the pitch that we want it to be on the final product. You want to always install tile on a smooth, flat surface. Now, notice I didn't say level surface. That's because tile, a lot of times, especially floor tile in a bathroom that has a drain in the floor, is going to be pitched to the drain. You want to pitch your floor before you put the tile on it. The reason why, thin set is not a great pitching agent. It doesn't hold its shape as well as, say, like something like a leveler or something like that. So you want to really be putting your tile, like I said before, on a flat surface and just using the thin set, a common consistency all the way across, so you have good adhesion under your tile. You don't have like popping tiles and stuff like that. So what we're going to use is we're going to use a super standard product called Custom Float. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix a ton of custom float. There's a lot of square footage here. We're almost in a probably close to 300 square foot bathroom. So we're gonna go through probably 30 or 40 bags of custom float, but we're gonna mix each bag, throw it in. We've got a couple pieces of aluminum in here that we're gonna actually use to screed out the custom float once we have it down, and we're gonna achieve a pitch that comes from the highest point on our wall down to our lowest point, which is gonna be our drain, which is right next to me here. So in a normal residential, like the bathroom in your house, there's probably not a pitch to the main floor. There's probably only a pitch in your shower, and that's just for water drainage. And usually a shower will have a curb or a glass enclosure to keep all the water in. And then only that wet area has to be pitched to the drain. Okay, so day 2 in the commercial bathroom that we're doing in Pasco County. And I wanna show a wall that we've got completed already. So basically what's happened already today is we've set a ledger around at the bottom of the floor like we said we were gonna do yesterday. We used plastic specifically because it's reusable. When it gets hit with water, it doesn't swell. If you use wood, like furniture strips, when it gets hit with water, it'll swell and it can become uneven. And even though it could be, only like 1/8 of an inch or maybe sometimes a little more, that you'll see that at the top of the wall once you go to line it up with your Schluter edging or whatever you set on the top, especially if it's a straight, just finished tile on top, you'll see that it's not a perfectly straight line. So that was kind of like a big prep piece. And so we had to shoot a laser around the room and make sure that we're level on all those. Once that's all set and the prep work is done, then we started laying our tile out. We've tried to emphasize it lately is to do good prep work and really be accurate on the prep so that you can just install quickly after that, a long time in prep, and then install goes really quickly because now they don't have to worry about leveling anything. They can just stack the tile, put the appropriate spacers in, let it set, and it's done, and then grout it. So let me talk about the actual products real quick. We're using a porcelain 12 by 24 tile, pretty standard wall tile. I do like the porcelain because it's less porous than a ceramic, and it's going to expel water better. It's gonna provide more of a waterproof barrier than a ceramic will. And then on the top, what we've got here is a piece of Schluter metal edge trim. That specific product is Schluter Quadec, that's what they call it, and it's in a satin nickel finish. And this really gives us an awesome straight finished edge to the tile. And if we were to be off by say like even an 1/8 or a 1/16, that pretty much takes that out. That it's absorbed. There's a grout joint right here beneath the metal trim and between it and the tile. And those little inconsistencies are hidden by that grout. And then you have just a nice clean finish edge on top. Makes it really fast. You don't have to buy expensive bullnose. That becomes your bullnose. day 3 in the commercial bathroom that we're tiling, and the walls are, for the most part, completed. So we're getting down onto the floor now, the fun part. And I thought it was a good opportunity for John to explain how and why we lay out our floors and like how we actually go about it. So you want to talk about what I have in my hand and what it's used for and kind of your thought process and like squaring up the floor?
This little laser contraption actually shoots a square line. So is what I do is on our longest run, I'll pull, these tile are 17 3/4 inch wide, plus a 1/4 inch grout joint puts you at 18. So from that wall, we measure out roughly 36 inches, 2 tile off. That way we can get a nice solid line. We strike that, we double check, make sure that the wall's not snaking down the way, which it will. So we have to revamp our line and bring it in closer to the wall, just so our wall tiles, when they come down, will sit flush right on top and we won't have a huge grout joint or whatever.
So you basically pushed it back so that you'd rather have to cut off at the wall than be short because you don't want to put a sliver in.
Correct.
Okay. That's how to start your layout. Let's get laying. So we're in day 4 of this commercial tile job and we're ready to start our grout. Now we're doing our grout a little unusual. We're doing it in 2 stages. The first, John is actually doing behind me. We're putting a real runny slurry of grout that we mix a lot thinner than we would normally mix, thinner than the manufacturer recommends. And the reason for that is when we set our tiles, sometimes we, even though we pre-pitch the floor, the tiles are still a little, there's some hollows underneath them. So the strategy to combat that, and you can use this at home if you have a tile that you set that winds up having a hollow in it, and you can hear it by knocking on it, is if you mix your grout runny, you can, as long as you did your bed of thin set right, you can pull the thin grout and have it flow and fill that hollow. So that's the first step, is we're filling all our hollows with a really thin slurry of grout. Then we'll come back and we'll really, hand apply with a grout sponge or grout float, whatever you want to call it. We'll really press in that thicker grout. That'll be our finished grout surface. So we'll hit our walls, then down to our floors, and then we'll be out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you would do me a huge favor and like us on Facebook. Also, if you could subscribe to our Instagram, it is at Home Love Construction. All one handle, lowercase as usual. No, but seriously, keep watching. We're gonna be putting out a ton more content. We've already put out so much content on our Facebook. If you scroll through that, it's like stacked with videos now, and there's just more coming. And so it's gonna be a fun year, and I hope you're here to enjoy it with us. Peace.